Hi, welcome to my channel, and I've just shredded all of my art homework. I did this to force myself to start over from the very beginning, starting with the fundamentals of art, specifically basic shapes. Now, I'm not just going in blind, I'm following a course called Draw a Box, which I've talked about in a previous video, and I'll just put it up there for you guys. But for a quick rehash, Drawbox is a free drawing course that takes you through the bare basics of art like line making, drawing boxes, and all that stuff. And yeah, let's just start with the very first lesson, lines. So I do recommend you watch or read the actual videos on the Drawbox website because I'm basically just gonna give like a quick summary of the lessons, and I'm not gonna go in depth, but the websites really go in depth about like mistakes and like tips and all that stuff. Anyways, the first thing you need to keep in mind is to use your full arm when you're drawing. We're already used to writing from the wrist and occasionally the elbow. No, not me personally, but some people do. But here we have to draw from our shoulders. This is to prevent wrist injuries and just to help make our marks and our lines as straight and as accurate as possible. The best way to draw from our shoulder is like to lift our elbow and our wrist off the table or the surface so we don't like lock them in and we don't start drawing from our wrist. For example, here you can see only my wrist is moving. My elbow and my shoulders are locked in place with my elbows laying heavily on the table. And now when I remove the weight from my elbows, I am now pivoting my arm and moving my arm from my elbow. To draw from my shoulder, I lift up my elbow and only let the side of my hand lie on the table, like just like to graze the table, just to have some extra support. The best way to know if you're doing this correctly is like just like observe how your arm is moving. If everything above the elbow is moving, then you're probably not doing it right. I want to make sure like the only thing that's moving is like the whole arm itself, not just like the hand or just like the elbow, if that makes sense. Next is we want to draw with confidence and with purpose. So no chicken scratches and dotted lines. We want a continuous, smooth line. Of course, we want accuracy, but the main focus is to build our confidence and our ability to draw a smooth line from our shoulder. So don't freak out about not having the perfect line right now. It's just we're still learning. We're babies. Those are just some things I think are important to know. And just like to reiterate, like you're gonna learn this if you look at the website, they're gonna talk about this more. But I just think it's important to say again. So like I said, please read or watch the videos. Like they're really important. I really recommend them. Now let's get into the homework. Okay, so the first homework is in the line section is superimposed lines. The instructions are fairly simple. First, take a ruler and draw a line. Whoa, super hard. Then freehand over the line 8 times. The main goal of this exercise is confidence. When I was doing this exercise, I was at my dining table, which was not a good idea because it has like grooves inside. So then I put a folder underneath my paper, which was actually like, don't do this, don't do this. And when you're doing this, any of the work, like it doesn't matter what stage you're in the Dropbox exercise or Dropbox course, please use a solid surface with enough room to move your arm. And speaking of the arm, oh my god, I forgot how freaking painful it is to draw from the shoulder. Like, oh my, like my arm was burning. So I recommend doing some warm ups, just like some shoulder rolls, just like move your arm like back and forth, just like get comfortable with your shoulder, moving your shoulder. Cause like it's just really helpful if you're not used to moving your shoulder as much. Like I haven't done big shoulder movements since like freaking gym class. And I think one of the parts that's really hard for this exercise is that like as you're drawing the lines, your hand covers where you're supposed to go. So it can lead to you being hesitant and being unsure. And also for me that personally led to me having a very like curved lines and like a wobbly line. Fine. Okay, like don't feel bad. Don't like beat yourself up for the mistakes, like that's normal. I wanna say that it's better to have the mistakes on the page so so that if you're doing like the paid critiques, they will be able to see that mistakes and they'll help you like get better at it. So don't like practice or do extra work and then submit the most perfect version of that work. Just submit the one that you made a mistake on and just get help for that. And another thing to add to about like don't do extra practice is that for Dropbox there's a strict rule that you're only supposed to do the amount of pages that they recommend. So if they say do 2 pages of boxes, you're gonna do 2 pages of boxes. Don't do three, don't do four, don't do 2 pages and a practice page. No, 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 no. Just do 2 pages of boxes. Okay, guys. This is just a help not make it as overwhelming. I don't know. But just listen to the rules, guys. And another thing to remember is that you guys should take breaks in between. That's what I did for this first homework, because I started off really badly. I know that put me in a bad mindset. Also, I had a headache that day, so I just like I paused. I was like, I'm gonna go sleep, and then I came back the next day and I did way better. And then ultimately, the second page, because you're supposed to do 2 pages of superimposed lines, was way better. Like I just did flawless. Okay, so ghosted lines is probably one of my favorite homeworks because I find it super easy and I have like the most success with this one. And basically, this way this homework is kind of like taught is like it's split into 3 parts. Step one is planning. An important part of mark making is thinking about like what we want the mark to be instead of just like blindly putting our pen down. And you think about what we're supposed to make. So for this stage, we're gonna place 2 points, point A and point B. This is where you're gonna draw your lines across. Okay, step two is preparation. So in this stage, we are using the ghosting method to prepare to draw the line. So basically for ghosting, you're just gonna hold the pen just a little bit off the page. So like you're not drawing on the page, you're not leaving any marks on the page as you're doing this ghosting. And we're gonna use smooth and confident motion from the shoulder to act like we're drawing the line from point A to point B. But we're not gonna put the pen on the paper yet. Just like you're pretending to draw the line. You're just gonna keep repeating the motion as long as you want, as long as you feel comfortable and you're familiar with this motion. It's like building muscle memory. We're like making muscle memory of the line. And lastly is step three, the execution. So now that you've gotten familiar with the motion, you'll put the pen to paper. At this stage, once the pen touches the paper, there is no going back. Like don't take your pen off, just push through. Even if it ends up being the freaking worst line ever, it's okay. Just leave it. We're practicing. This is practice, guys. Don't forget this is practice. And yeah, just push through, and you got this. A tip for when you're doing this is to like rotate your page as you go, because right now we're just trying to get our confidence down with our mark making skills. We're not really looking for accuracy, of course. Try to keep accuracy in mind as you're doing this, but mostly it's about confidence and just having that flow and having that smooth, steady line right now. So rotate your page if it makes you feel more comfortable, makes you feel more confidence. And another thing that really helped me for this, or like I think I do really well with this, is like hand-eye coordination. So you just keep moving your eye between the 2 points as you go. So as you're drawing from point A to B, just keep your eye from those 2 points. This helps direct your hand where to go. It also gives you more like better, accurate results as well. Also helps with your confidence because like, bro, you need to know where you're going at the end. So you need to know where you're gonna land, where you're gonna stop at point B. So keep your eyes on the points, between the points as you draw, as you ghost. Okay, this is the last exercise for the line section. Ghosted planes are the same as ghosted lines, same 3-step plan, but instead of placing only 2 dots, we place 4. So we have point A, point B, point C, point D. And we're trying to connect all 4 dots. So basically a very less fun version of connect the dots. Not only are we gonna create like the plane, like the square itself. Well, it's not really a square, it's a, what's it called? Quadrilateral? What? I got wait. Pause.
Quadrilateral.
It is called a quadrilateral. I feel like I'm still saying that wrong. Anyways, yeah, we're making a quadra, bruh. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. A 4 point thingamabob, okay? Four lines or whatever. And it's y'all, I was decent at math, not perfect. Anyways, so once we're having that quadrilateral down, we're gonna have intersecting lines from corner to corner, opposite corners, to create a center X. And then we're gonna draw lines on the X and Y axis and just basically just across. And the aim is try to get it like where the two axes meet, because like there's gonna be like a central point where the two intersecting lines meet. So we're gonna try to get the lines across. I hope I know that makes sense. Y'all, if you go to the website, they have images to tell you what to do, okay? Please just go to the website because I'm confusing myself with these instructions. Okay, so the focus of this exercise is kind of like just to break down the work we do when drawing each mark from the dots to the lines to the complete thing is a separate unit of work, if that makes sense. So they're all singular units of works, and you should be thinking about like you should be thinking through and being mindful about each mark you're putting down on the page, even if it seems inconsequential, okay? So for me, where I went wrong is I started rushing a little at certain steps. Like for example, I started rushing through putting like my points down, and I'll start rushing through like the intersecting lines. And once I noticed that habit of mine, I stopped. I took a break. I took some deep breaths in, and I came back when I had the time and when I was ready. And I also did like kind of like smaller planes on the corners, not on this one that I'm recording. It's in the first one I did, and the second page which I'm recording is way better because I like forced myself to slow down. I thought more about the individual marks I was making. So yeah, keep that in mind. Think about the individual marks from the points to the lines to like the full complete thing. They're all each a separate thing. I feel like that's wrong. Okay, so I just want to go on a tiny rant, a tiny tangent right now, because I'm not gonna lie, doing these exercises is very boring. So hopefully you guys have something on in the background. I want to recommend you guys watch this video, but like I feel like you watch this video first and then work. Don't watch this video as you're working, okay? But also like nothing too distracting, because if I remember, I think for the very first one, for the superimposed line page 1, I was watching like a horror game playthrough, and I just kept stopping to look at, like I was like I put my pen down. I was like, wait, what's happening? And I would get jump scared. But after that, I did put some music, and I don't know, I just find personally that when people are talking, it distracts me a little, but like music doesn't. I don't know. So I have like a playlist of just like chill, vibey songs I listen to. I would love. Should I link it? I don't know, if you guys want it, I'll link it. I'll link it if you guys want it. Anyways, so I just end up listening to that songs for like the whole of the exercises. But what is really strange for me is that doing these exercises I can only listen to music, but when I'm like painting, drawing, or sketching in my sketchbook or just like other artworks or whatever, I can watch videos. Like I watch people talk. I specifically watch like Minecraft videos, like you know those like 6 hours like building, starting civilization or some shit. I don't know. Lots of Forge labs. Anyways, so I watch like Minecraft videos, like those long Minecraft videos, and I watch like deep analysis videos as well. Like when people over explain or like analyze, yeah, analyze like books or shows or anything I'm interested in. I love to watch those. And right now for me, that's like JJK. So I've been watching so many like analysis videos on JJK. But anyways, that is the end of my little tangent. I just wanted to talk about that. That play something in the background, but nothing too distracting. You know, it's like you want to just like fill the space, basically. Yeah. So, anyways, here is all of the completed homework. And remember that to submit your homework, especially if you're doing the paid critique, is that you only submit the homework all together. Like once you're done everything in the lesson. So we still have ellipses and boxes to do. So hold tight to those papers. Unless you want to do them again, then you can lose them. But just like keep them in a safe area. Keep them in a red folder. And next up for our practice is the ellipses. So while you're waiting for that video, or while you're taking a break between the lines, remember to draw for fun, okay? Don't forget the 50-50 rule. You would notice if you went to the website, or I think I talked about it in my Drawbox video. I don't know if I talked about it. Anyways, remember to draw for fun before you start the next section, okay? Bye-bye!